All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. I hope your Tuesday's off to a fantastic start. My cohort, Chase McCabe, who we have to talk about in a minute, just open the door all the way, please. The air conditioning's out in the studio, and it's a little over 1,000 degrees in here, and Nick Keiser wants to keep shutting the door, and I can't breathe in here. So there we go. Thank you, Nick Keiser, with that. By the way, Chase McCabe is still off. He's up. He was in New York City because he completed his cloud storage learning class on LinkedIn, and he got an award. So he'll be back here tomorrow. But Dr. Crane, good morning to you. First of all, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Joe. How about yourself?
I'm doing quite well. Chase McCabe, the Tennessean comes out with their readers poll every year. You know, the best of this, best of that. Chase is up for best host.
Seriously?
He is.
How about that?
I said, exactly. I said, how about that, Chase McCabe? Ain't he something? And my best Bob Hope impression. So, Chase, we're going to continue. He doesn't want to do this, but we will tout him for you guys to go vote Chase for best host in the Tennesseans readers poll, best of the best.
Do it twice, three times.
Do fake emails. Do as many times as you can to put it up there. So, congratulations to Chase McCabe. He'll be back tomorrow.
Does great work around here.
I don't know who he's up against. I don't care. I'm not voting for him. So we're going to vote for Chase.
What if it's Bob Mueller?
I think Bob Mueller's in that category. I think it's Bob Mueller and Jill Jelenic and what's the bonehead guy? Bobby Bones. I think that's his name. He's up for it, which isn't fair because he's a national show. Anyway, but we're gonna and somebody else too. But Chase is going to. We're gonna vote for Chase. We'll take him all the way.
Yeah,
we'll do that. Somebody said, "Are you mad you're not on there?" I don't care. I couldn't care less about awards. Right? What I care about is you, the listener, having a great day and a great life. That's what I care about. That's it. So, all right, a lot to get into today on the show. We'll listen to Robbie and Rex. They had a great Robbie about that 25% stat about the Titans have won their games for a certain period of time less than the Panthers, who we need to talk about the Carolina Panthers because I've told you that's the worst football team I think I've seen ever, and they've benched Bryce Young, which is good. And now Bryce Young, we'll get into it later on, but Bryce Young says the team has betrayed him. At what point does Bryce Young look in the mirror and say, I'm just not good. My team's not good. It happens.
I don't know. I saw something on, I think, Twitter yesterday. Adam Thielen, who is one of the wide receivers on the Carolina Panthers, he mentioned that obviously you're going to get the vanilla answer, but, the team's behind him. This is it's not solely a Bryce Young thing, but it's more of a defensive thing along with a team thing as an offense as a whole. It's not just him. So I guess he was just kind of stating the case of not trying to single out their number one overall quarterback,
right?
But at the same time, it could be a Bryce Young thing.
Well, I mean, they're a terrible team from top to bottom. The Carolina Panthers are awful. I watched the Chargers game and I watched really a lot of the Saints games. So I'm a kind of a small Saints fan, and they were terrible. I mean, it was we laugh about they couldn't be the top team in the SEC, which they could, but it would be like 17-14. That's what the score would be in that game because that's a bad football team. So we'll get to that. So we got all these questions. We love you guys and the responses that we get every day. So we'll pop our question out of the gate so far, with the Titans being so bad the last couple of years and off to a bad start now. Somebody asked me, well, who do you blame for this? And I don't know. So I'm asking you guys, 615-737-1025 on our text line. We'd love for you to call. Who do you blame for this? I know we did this in the summertime, but now you're off to a bad start. You got some bad players on the team. Who do you blame? I mean, do you go to the GM, old GM, new GM, head coach who can't coach? Do you blame him for that? Do you blame Vrabel? I don't know. I need to know from you guys. Who do you want to think should be blamed for this? And that's kind of the thing. So we'll get into that too a bit later on. And also, here's something else too. Another question. We like this as well throughout the day. And Dr. Crane, you've done this before. So a friend of mine left last week, was moving from jobs, and we started talking about the worst job you've ever had. And so our fun question of the day, what's the worst job you ever had? Now you look back and laugh. All right. What's the worst job you've ever had? And you look back now and you're like, oh yeah. I was a car salesman for 7 months at old Jim Reed Chevrolet. And I'm telling you, for 3 of those 7 months, I was a top salesman, and I was awful. I was absolutely awful as a car salesman. And the stories from walking up, talking to people who a few wanted to fight me. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke because I was going to help them out for trying to get a car. So we're going to hear the worst job you ever had. And now you look back and you're actually kind of glad you had it. You laughed. Now, Dr. Crane, you're way too young. Have you had a bad job yet?
I mean, I would look at it as more of like a thing for a neighbor. Like I had to go water a neighbor up the street, her flowers when I was in high school. So like when I was playing football, I had 2 days. So I'd wake up around like 5 or so in the morning, 4:30, go water her plants before it got really hot. And then, when I got back from the second practice, go home, water the plants again. Well, she had a koi pond, like with the koi fish, those expensive fish.
Yeah.
And they had like an actual, I guess, water filter that went into it. She goes, you don't have to feed them. You just got to feed them probably once every day or so. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what you have to do with koi fish. Okay. But anyways, she had a few dogs and I didn't have to worry about the dogs. They were inside, but I watered the plants like I did, like it's like a good boy should,
Yeah.
And then the koi fish came around and I was like, wait a minute. I feel like I need to feed these things. So I fed them once the first day. I was like, these fish look kind of hungry. Fed them like once the second day.
Okay.
And I don't think I hurt the fish at all. They were just really big. And so, yeah, I don't know what happened to a lot of the fish, but I think only kind of like 4 or 5 fish. I think she had like 6. So there was a fish that was missing. I don't know if one fish got eaten by the other. That was my concern. I was like, hopefully I didn't cause cannibalism on fish.
Talking about here?
That I'm Joe. That's just saying that was probably, it wasn't a bad job. It was just a weird job for me.
All right, I'll take a weird job. All right. Did you get tipped? Did you get any money for this?
Yeah, I think I got like $40 a day or something. She had a lot of flowers.
For killing her fish, you got $40 a day?
I did not kill the fish, Joe. The fish hurt themselves, okay? I just remember the fish, and I was like, wait, there should be one more fish. And I don't know where the other fish went.
So. There's no way you survive being on the stand getting questioned by Matlock on this story. You're done. You're done. You killed an old lady's fish for $40. I hope you're happy with your life.
I mean, Joe, it was just a fish. It was like more of like a giant goldfish. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness!
But you see a scene out of The Office where they're walking in that main lobby.
Yeah, and he falls in.
Michael falls in the koi fish pond,
and he says, and they have the videotape that shows how he just fell in there.
And then he got the bill for the fish that he accidentally landed on.
Right.
But yeah, these fish, they were fine. I think I might have miscounted, but overall, the lady had a nice spread of flowers. A lot of purple ones.
Did you ruin those as well?
I did not.
I'm thinking you did.
I did not.
Is this sweet lady still around?
She is. She's a very nice lady.
Okay.
Very nice lady.
So does she know you ruined her flower beds and everything?
She knows who I am. I did not ruin her flower bed. It was just hot, man. It's just when you're in 125-degree heat.
Like the studio is now?
Yes.
Okay.
One of us may have to get some water. I mean, it's just it's that hot.
But you got paid and you learned a lesson from that.
Okay. Yeah, I did. Okay. I did. I learned the lesson of making sure you don't overwater plants because I found out you can overwater plants. Didn't know that when I was a kid. You can overwater plants. Do you know that, Jeff? Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't water plants at all. Let the good Lord rain on them.
Well, yeah, that's Mother Nature at its finest.
Yeah,
you can overwater plants. I didn't know that.
Okay. Is that how the excuse now we've got for what you've done? Here's the PSA, people. Don't hire Dr. Crane to take care of your plants nor your fish.
I can fix ovens. I can make some wood
be honest.
Okay.
Be honest. It's just me, you, and is that Mr. Hockey back there?
Yeah, 80s.
Okay. Mr. 80s. Did you have that in this new griddle that you have?
Okay.
Did you take that fish and put it on the griddle?
No, Joe. This was like a 9-year. This is a 9-year gap.
Okay.
It ain't no way.
All right. I know. I just wanted. If I trust you, just to know
that
you didn't cook her fish.
I promise I did not cook her fish.
Okay.
I will say this on the Blackstone: you don't go cook a fish on there because then the flavor it just messes with the seasoning. No thanks.
All right. There's things we have to know. I mean, we're clear about this now.
Yeah.
All that. Steve on the text line says, FYI, Saints starting left guard Lucas Patrick was from Brentwood High School and has the highest rated left guard performance in the NFL from week 2 per Pro Football Focus. Yeah, Lucas Patrick, who played at Duke, and I think he was with the Packers for a while. So good. I love local kids who get to the next level. Thank you. All right, let's see here. We're asking the question today. The Titans, but really bad. The Panthers are bad, but in the same period of time, the Panthers have been bad. The Titans have been worse. Who do you blame? 8425 says you blame John Robinson. I think that's the easy scapegoat to do for all this is to blame John Robinson. But at some point, don't other scouts go in there and say, hey, this guy is not, this guy is good. Take this. I don't know. I've never been in a draft room like that, but to know that stat that the Titans have been worse than the Panthers over that period of time is just 7655. Everyone's to blame. This is what happens when you have below mediocre drafts, being content with what you have and not being willing to move a player for the future. We've all talked about the Titans draft, how awful it's been. Pretty much the 19 draft was okay. 18 draft was awful. Harold Landry's only got the remains from that. 19, you had Simmons. You traded away A.J. Brown. You had, I think, Amani Hooker in that draft. Nate Davis is now with the Bears. A few good guys. 20 was awful. 21 was awful. You had a terrible first round. Your first round picks in 20, 21, 22. And I'm not, Skoronski gets worse by the week. So that's 4 years in a row. Your number one picks have been just awful. So everyone, according to 7655, is to blame for that. Wes in Clarksville. I like this. I blame ownership. Team has been spiraling down since they got rid of J-Rob. Look, at some point, the buck has to stop with someone, and it's got to stop with the person that owns the team, who, when A.J. Brown was traded, they had to go to her and say, hey, we're trading A.J. Brown. She'd say, okay, on and on. So how much blame does she get for this? I don't blame her for the bad draft choices at all. I just don't, because that's when John Robinson got out there and did that. Keith from Bowling Green. We're talking about the worst job you've ever had. We got two questions: who to blame today for the Titans, and the worst job you've ever had, from talking to a friend of mine, Keith from Bowling Green, tearing shingle roofs off at Fort Campbell. First of all, I'm not getting on a roof. Secondly, I'm not doing that because I need a tetanus shot probably. I'm not doing that. I could see you, Dr. Crane, being a roofer.
Because
your attention to detail is mwah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. No, I feel like that'd be kind of fun, something to do, roofing. But
God bless those roofers. I'm not doing that. You don't want me on your roof.
Yeah, it's not it. I will say I do recall a job now. It wasn't a job on a regular basis, but I do recall a job that was probably not the best for me.
Okay.
I think it was a school night in high school. I was a sophomore. My buddy, Josh, we ended up moving. This guy had a giant armoire and was trying to move it into his new house and new furniture. And so we put it in the back of this trailer and we drove, I think, from Nashville all the way to Clarksville. And it was like 10:30 at night. I'm like, golly, it's going to be a long night. End up, unloading the giant armoire and dresser. And as we're unloading it, one of the, I guess you could say, drawers falls out and just shatters into 1,000 pieces. And so me and my buddy, he's like 6'5", I'm 5'5", whatever. And I'm talking to him like, Josh, I think we got to tell the guy or whatever. So we told the guy, I was like, he goes, oh, don't worry about it. I'll fix it. No big deal. So we, grab the other one, and one of the doors ends up flinging off of this giant armoire. I was like, man, we told him, he saw us do it. I was like, we didn't do that. It just fell off.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. And so, yeah, that was a bad evening because I didn't get home till about like midnight or 12:30 in the morning, and it was just brutal.
So you can't take care of plants and fish, and now you can't move.
I can move stuff. It's just that when it's heavy stuff, I'd like to have a dolly with me. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
The little 2-wheel thing.
Like a little Dolly Parton?
No, not a Dolly Parton, Joe. But yes, like a 2-wheel thing where you're able to kind of lift things on it, strap it on.
Right. I think these are experiences, not really jobs.
Well, they were miniature jobs. I call those like miniature jobs. They're not like regular jobs, but they're miniature jobs.
Do you still move today? If I ask you to help me move, would you help me move?
Yeah, sure.
But would you break something?
No.
I don't know if I trust you.
I have a good attention to detail now. I'm an older gentleman, middle-aged to some degree, where I can put more attention to detail, like you just said.
Yeah, you are. All right, that's great. All right, we were off and run this morning. Again, our questions: what's the worst job you ever had? Then now you look back and you just laugh at it. We got a lot of responses. Our text line, and also with the Titans. Now we're in the blame game today because the Panthers are awful, but over the same period of time, looks like the Titans have been just as bad or maybe worse. So who are we going to blame? I mean, you wanted Mike Vrabel gone. Your team's 0-2 and really no show a little sign of life. But then you got the Packers coming in here. And I'm telling you, man, if Malik Willis comes in here and beats the Titans on Sunday, Monday, we have to be prepared for a show that we have never kind of had before, because Titans fans are going to be livid, and rightfully so. We'll have with that more of that. 615-737-1025. We love your interactions here. This is the People's Show, brought to you by Omni Nashville Hotel, the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show. That's REO. Might as well be called RIP after the news yesterday that they are after January 1st. They're done. Can't get along. They're done. I don't like you. You don't like me. We're done. So grateful they lasted that long. So it's Aerosmith now is gone. Now REO Speedwagon's gone. Rumor has it Kiss is going to be shutting down pretty soon. We knew this day was coming. We knew all this was coming with these bands saying goodbye, and it sucks.
I'll just say this, Joe, for the Kiss thing, I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, they've mentioned it. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons have talked about it. They're done.
Yeah, but they always do the final tour, and that's like every other year.
I don't know, man. I never saw REO going to do this. Now they're done, and then I don't know, man. That's why these bands come through town. Go see them. Go see them. You never know what's going to happen. So REO was just here like not Ascend, but First Bank with Train like a month ago, and now they're done. It's going to happen. All these bands, the next 5 years are out. So it's awful. Go read up on REO, how they're now RIP. All right, we got 2 questions today. Worst job you ever had, and you look back now and it makes you laugh. Dr. Crane's had 4 of them where he's been fired from them all, but he's learned valuable lessons in them.
Did not get fired. Disclaimer. Did not get fired. Just a valuable lesson. I did get paid.
Good. All right, well done there. And I was a car sales. Oh, Jim Reed Chevrolet. I drove by with Jim Reed Chevrolet on Broadway, West End, and it's a big vacant lot now. I'm thinking, oh, that's where I got yelled at by a customer. That's where I slept in the back of an Isuzu Rodeo because I had a hangover. On and on. I was literally the worst employee that they ever had there. So I take. Am I happy about that? No, but if you're gonna be good at something, be good at being bad at your job, right? I guess I don't know. Don't take that to the bank. All right, our question today again. All right, so the Titans, and then Robbie was telling me, I texted Robbie, and then since J-Rob got fired, Titans won 25% of the games. Since David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, took over, they've won 28% of the games. So the franchise right now, in recent memory, Titans are worse than the Panthers. That's unacceptable. Panthers are awful. Titans are much better. You should be, but you're terrible. The Panthers have benched Bryce Young, who said this football team has betrayed him. The ownership has betrayed him. I guess he had to get on a step stool to say that because he's kind of a short guy. And to get up and do that. Look, you make changes. It's okay, Bryce. Changes happen. You're not all to blame for that. But here's something greater than that. The 4 Bama quarterbacks in the National Football League are not having the best of seasons, the best of careers. Jalen Hurts, I think he's 2-11 in his last 13 games.
Yes.
Didn't look good last night. Runs the ball great. Put him in like run a wing T with him or do something. Single wing, let him go. Tua, if Tua does not hang it up, then there's a far bigger problem than him having a concussion. The people around him need to be checked on because I bet there's some people around him who consider him an ATM, and they need to realize that guy, that's not good what's going through his mind. And so the Dolphins aren't putting him on IR. It's ridiculous for all that. Mac Jones is now in Jacksonville riding the pine, and I'm leaving somebody out. That's it, Bryce Young. And Bryce Young just got benched. Bama quarterbacks in the National Football League are a product of great players around them. I'm trying to think the last great Bama quarterback in the National Football League. I know Stabler. I know Namath. Has there been one since then? It wasn't Jay Barker. It wasn't, who was it? What, Mike Shula? I'm just rattling off Alabama quarterbacks. It wasn't Jeff Rutledge, although he won a couple of Super Bowls with the Giants from the 70s. But recent memory, I can't think of a Bama quarterback who's standing out right now.
I mean, the one that stands out to me, but he's like a career backup, it's A.J. McCarron.
Yeah.
He played in the XFL for a little bit and did pretty good.
Well, he was on the Bengals roster the last couple of years with Brian Callahan.
That's right.
Am I leaving a Bama quarterback out? I'm trying to go back when they've gotten McElroy was gone, McCarron was gone. I can't remember one. Who was there? And Derrick Henry was there. They've just go average to decent quarterbacks. And then Mac Jones, then Tua, then Jalen Hurts, the Mac Jones. So I don't know. But anyway, the Bama quarterbacks. But I told you they're a product of playing at Alabama. You got so many great players around you They elevate you. When you get with an average team, you're just an average player. That's what you got right now to do that. All right, let's go here. Back to our text line. Let's see here. 9391. The worst job ever was working at Blockbuster back in the day. All my friends worked the night shift, which was really fun, but I ended up getting stuck with the 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. shift. It was truly horrible. Ended up getting fired because the manager and I did not get along. He was way too interested in very obscure movies. I did get the last laugh, however, by winning a contest and stuffing my girlfriend's name in the Hollywood grand opening prize. 9391. There's nothing better than a vindictive employee like that who goes back and helps your friends out. Well done on that, buddy. 4047. Pick tomatoes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 40 cents an hour for my first summer job. Mike on Kentucky Lake. Mike, thank you for that. 40 cents an hour. What was this, 1880? Who the hell is paying you 40 cents an hour?
Hey, Joe, don't get me wrong. I would love to pick tomatoes as a job, but for 40 cents, no thanks.
No.
That's
what
bad.
Year, Mike, text back in. What year was this? That is an awful job. Yeah, I'm sure you'll text back in and say you learned life lessons about how to use proper form and you met good people and blah, blah. 40 cents, and I'm not doing that.
It's got to be illegal, right?
Right. Unless it's 1885 when he was picking tomatoes. Mike, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. 2475. Garrett from Clarksville. Blame has to go to who to blame for the Titans. Blame has to go to Amy Adams Strunk. Bad CEO will ruin a bad business. What do you think she's done to letting AJ Brown grow? I mean, I don't know. I don't see her Did she meddle? I mean, I know the Vrabel stuff, but it's her team. You can meddle a little bit.
I think she's let her thoughts get the best of her. Just meaning, you have a general manager that's making some, maybe you could say, bonehead moves in some regard in the draft. That's probably kind of eating her up inside, along with, Mike Vrabel having this like control issue with his locker room and his roster.
But tell me what company is run. I mean, I love everybody at Cromwell Media, but like your other company, it doesn't run smooth. I mean, we're great, but there's no company that, I mean, you're going to have this. But I mean, do we blame her? But for what aspect?
I would say you probably blame her for, it's going to sound crazy, blame her for the AJ Brown trade. Honestly.
Well, I do blame her for that.
Yeah.
I 100% blame Amy Adams for the AJ Brown. 100%.
And you could say that has trickled down and caused a domino effect of all this to happen, which it has.
Yeah, because when you get Traylon Burks, who, by the way, we don't mention on this show.
Right.
That's the last time done. He's just going to be referred to as number 16, who has no effort, and that's what he has. No effort at all to do that. So, all right, we'll go on that. Chip from Mount Juliet. Worst job as a teen in rural Wisconsin in the early 80s. Trimming Christmas trees in the summer. Early morning, driven to tree fields and back of cattle trucks, acres and acres of trees. Used 2 machetes and wore knee guards. Wild animals, bees, heat, fear of getting cut next to your buddy. Trimming $2.95 an hour and thought that was great. What part, Chippy, did you think that was great for? Riding in the back of cattle trucks, acres and acres of trees, used 2 machetes and wore knee guards. That is an awful job. And I hope you learned a lesson from that about just to cherish what you have now, man, because that is something else. All right, we'll take more about that. Our text line, 615-737-1025. We'll read all your texts today. Who's to blame for what's going on? Because in the same part of you compare the Panthers and the Titans in the last year and a half, Titans got a worse record than the Panthers, which to me blows my mind. So we'll talk about who's to blame and also continue about what's the worst job you ever had, but now you're thankful you had that job. You look back and you laugh on it. Up next is a good friend of the show, former TSU head football coach Rod Reed. His son Marcel is the starting quarterback at Texas A&M, went to NBA and was named SEC Freshman of the Year. We will talk to Coach Reed when we come back. This is a Chase and Big Joe show brought to you by Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. All right, welcome back to the Chase of Big Joe's show. We are bemoaning the fact that REO is now RIP, so we'll be playing REO today as they drift off into the sunset because they can't get along. All right, we love our local players around here, kids in high school who excel, that go to the next level. We love that. When they go to the NFL, we love that even more. But right now, we're all on board of one young man that went to NBA, and his father joins us now. It is Rod Reed. His son is Marcel Reed, the quarterback at Texas A&M, who was just named SEC Freshman of the Year for his game last week against Florida. And Coach Reed joins us now. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? Good to hear from you, brother.
Oh, it's good to hear from you. You know, we love you, man. Let's first talk about Marcel and the award. I mean, you know the hard work. I've seen the video. We've talked to you for years about the hard work this young man puts in. How rewarding is it that he was recognized with that, Coach?
Man, it's extremely rewarding, man. Just to watch his dreams kind of come to fruition. He works really hard at it. He loves to train. And I just think that, the best is yet to come.
How have you kept him even balanced? Because we read things about, kids, it's, they're not happy here, they're not happy there, and all that young man, I followed him, has never complained one time. How do you keep him balanced, Coach?
Well, I mean, it just goes back to kind of family values, man. You know better than anybody else. You got to, no deposit, no return. If you don't put nothing in the bank, you ain't getting nothing out of the bank. Just things like that. And Marcel is, one of the biggest compliments that I get on Marcel all the time when I talk to people about him, they say he's even a better person than he is a player. And to me, that's the biggest compliment you can get for your child.
He a great game against Florida. Do you talk to him before games, or what's the process now? Because, you're a coach, he's a quarterback. You're his father, he's your son. What's the balance of not coaching him when he's got great coaches around him?
Well, the old adage is you're only as good as your last game. And I try to keep him grounded that way. But we do talk, not so much about football, just about, life. And, one of the things I texted him, Saturday morning was, trust your training, trust your coaching, trust your preparation. And when all else fails, run, I try to send him an encouraging word pretty much every day. And just to let him know that, he's on my mind. And, I talk to him pretty much probably 3 or 4 times a week, after practice, just see how it went. And my first question is, do you have any turnovers today? I think he knows the value of protecting the football, and hopefully he'll continue on that trajectory in doing so, not turning over the football. And, right now, while he's in the position that he's in, his job is to kind of move the chains. And, when Wigman gets well, we'll figure all that out. That's not his decision to make. That's not my decision to make. All he can do is play the cards that's dealt him and go out there and perform at a high level.
Oh, amen with all that. We're talking to Rod Reed. His son Marcel is a starting quarterback at Texas A&M, went to NBA and does such a great job. All right, Coach, when you were on the field, it's different. You're involved in the game. You get everything that's going on. You're the CEO of the football team. Now that you're in the stands watching your son play, what are the emotions? Because I'm going to tell you, if I put an Apple Watch on you and your wife, your heart rate would probably be around 200 beats a minute. What's it like watching your boy on the field like that?
My heart rate is much higher than my wife. I can tell you that. Man, I was shivering up there. I'm telling you, my hands were shaking, and you're on the edge of your seat every play when he's out there, and just to watch him, execute and compete. It was really exciting, but it is nerve-wracking. I can tell you that I don't have any fingernails right now, so just if that tells you anything.
You go. He signs with A&M. Jimbo's there. Jimbo gets let go. New coach staff comes in. What was the concern for you as a father for your son when a whole new staff comes in?
Well, with him being so young, it wasn't as much as a concern, especially knowing the offense that Coach Klein was bringing. But we had an opportunity to talk to the coaching staff, and actually, when they got the job, Coach Klein was down here recruiting, and we stopped. We stopped at a restaurant. We talked, and I felt comfortable with Coach Klein. And my conversation with Coach Elko, just about being able to compete and for the job, went very well. So I thought it'd still be a good situation there. Marcel loves it down there in College Station, and all of my family. I'm originally from Texas, so my mom and my sisters and my aunts and uncles, all of them live in the Dallas area, which is a couple of hours away. So we were pretty comfortable with him staying and competing.
What is you are from Texas, and so what's it like to have your son, as of right now, the starting quarterback at Texas A&M, and you talk about all your family down in Texas. I mean, I can't even imagine the feeling that is for you and your family.
Man, it's great. It's great. Especially after we saw the bowl game that he had. He's kind of thrust into playing at the bowl game, and he ended up having a huge bowl game. And I think at that point he figured out that he could do this and really compete at a high level. And it raised my comfort level a little bit with the maturity that he played with, and hopefully he can continue to play with that same maturity and protect football and move the chains when he's called upon.
Coach, with you, we're talking to Coach Rod Reed, former head coach at TSU. His son Marcel plays at Texas A&M. I hope the answer to this is yes, but is coaching still in your future?
I don't know. I think right now with Marcel where he is, my daughter Bria is at the University of Missouri. She's the assistant director of on-campus recruiting there.
Whoa.
At Missouri. So, my wife will be going to Mizzou this week. I'm going to Texas this week. So we kind of splitting up a little bit there. But at some point, that may be an option, probably in more of an analyst role where Marcel is right now. I'm really happy with what I'm doing right now over at Tennessee State in the College of Ag. As a director over here, we've done some really good things with some private industry people and, raising money for students and things of that nature. So there's no rush, but, if the right opportunity came along, definitely we'll look to give it a serious look.
Well, that's good then. You got in your future like that. I couldn't imagine, because, had you stayed a head coach and then your boys playing on Saturday, I mean, that would just how do you deal with that when you want to watch your kid play, but yet you got your own football team? That's something I was like, oh, man, because what's the coach at UT Martin? He's got to do that with his son, right? Simpson?
Yeah, man. I think Jason catches a bunch of red eyes, man. On if he has the opportunity, if they play at 11 and they play at 7, I would imagine that's a hustle for him. But it's a blessing to be able to go to College Station, go on the road like we did last week down to Gainesville to be able to see him play and just kind of get your eyes and hands on him for a few minutes. And it's truly been a blessing.
Well, I love it. Coach, I know you're busy. Thank you for your time. We love you and your family. Thank you for everything. And we are just so proud of Marcel. And it was great hearing Herb Street talk about him on College Game Day Saturday. So well-deserved, because that's a young man who's earned everything he's gotten, Coach. So thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, man.
All right, Coach Rod Reed, friend of the show, man. I just acknowledge it's great with him and having your son on that level. Amazing. Thanks, Coach, for joining us right there. All right, we're going to come back. We're going to tell you up next why stats and all you analytic nerds, you can just sit this one out. Why, and don't look at me, Dr. Crane, because, I don't like analytics. Why stats don't matter in sports. They don't matter. I'm going to tell you why. That's next. This is The People Show, brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel, the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Take it, Dr. Crane. All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show. We're playing REO Speedwagon because they're quitting on us. REO Speedwagon announcing that they can't get along, some kind of drama, and so January the 1st, they're giving away. What was it that Mr. 80 saw on the screen? This is one of the most annoying songs ever.
Yes.
Turn it up right here. How is that annoying?
It's Google.
I know. I mean, you got Kevin Cronin singing his heart out. So REO is gone. All right, we have 2 questions today. We love your response as always. Who's to blame for the Titans over the same period of time that J-Rob's gone and the Panthers have a new ownership? And I think credit goes to Stillman on this. Robbie said he heard it from Stillman. So anyway, it was on the station, so we'll give whoever credit deserves it. So we'll give it to Stillman. The Titans are worse than the Panthers in this period of time, which just blows my mind because I think the Titans overall are better everything than the Panthers, but all that matters is what happens on the field, and right now they are nowhere near that. Also, who are we blaming about that? And also, the worst job you've ever had. A friend of mine quit a job. He said it was the worst job he ever had a few weeks ago. I'm like, no, not really. You got a white-collar job, not the worst job. I mean, there's growing up you had really bad jobs. 0247 says, worst job ever had, filling vending machines. A few things on that. I bet it is difficult because you go around all that and then all the change. Oh, I mean, we did all that change, a huge bag for all the change to do that. But I don't think that would be a worse job. 0247, I need to know more why you say that's a terrible job. Our friend Gover, he says, whoever's responsible for the offensive line with a competent O-line, Levis can learn without a curve. The receivers are better. There's a solid run game, on and on and on. So whoever's responsible for the offensive line, that would fall on the general manager. Number 2, I stocked shelves at Toys R Us overnight. I lasted 2 days. Go over, stocked shelves at Toys R Us overnight and lasted 2 days. Oh, I need more context for that too. Kevin says, if it wasn't for block punts and bonehead interceptions, the Titans would be 2-0 and fans would be praising Callahan and Levis and talking Super Bowl. Kevin in Florida. Kevin, I love you. Super Bowl talk has not been around here. It was in 2019. Before that, 2021, and then 99 maybe. It's been a long time. I don't know. They went to the AFC Championship game in 2002, and then 2008 team was good. I said earlier why stats don't matter. Dr. Crane, who has the number 1 after 2 games? Who has the number 1 overall defense in the National Football League?
The Saints?
The Titans. Defense.
Oh, defense. Oh, I thought you said the offense. Sorry.
Who is ranked 26?
Got to be the Titans, right?
Titans in offense. So they have the number 1 ranked defense, and you're 0-2. That's why football is a complete game, not just what you do on one side of the ball. That, to me, says a lot after 2 games. How frustrating that your defense is playing lights out, and you're 0-2.
I mean, the one thing that bothers me about hearing that is you bring in a guy like Denard Wilson, and he's chirped and chirped and chirped to media saying that I'm going to bring in a lot of dogs to help this defense be the best they can. And he's lived up to the expectation.
Yes.
He's lived up to everything. And then you go to the offensive side of the ball, and you've even mentioned it, Joe, about Nick Holtz. Like, what does he really do?
He relays information. Take the offensive coordinator title. What did Callahan say yesterday? I got to do a better job of what? Getting the ball to Hopkins. Remember we talked about that was the quote? Well, you're the coordinator. So stop this de facto BS title from somebody else about coordinator. Nick Holtz is not a coordinator.
Is he?
I don't want to talk to him.
Consultant?
I know we did talk to him in camp because they gave us to him. But as far as game and calling plays, I don't want to talk to him. Am I wrong on this?
No, not at all.
You're not calling plays. Who's the boss at 102.5 the game?
I believe that'd be 102.5. It'd be Chase.
Chase.
Yeah.
All right. So why would I talk to you about what's going on here?
That makes no sense. Yeah,
right.
It makes no sense.
You're not the boss. Chase is the boss.
Exactly.
So you're the boss. Nick Holtz doesn't call plays. Now, if I could look, Google recommends things to me all the time. Whose decision is it? It's my decision.
I was going to say Brian Callahan, but yes.
Well, yeah, Callahan's, when we come to the Titans, it's his decision. But, individual, it's our decision. So it's Callahan. So just stop all this. So you look at your team, you're 0-2, and it all goes back to Levis, the 2 flips. That's what's so frustrating about this. You go back last year to the Saints game at opening game. 10 of those awful interceptions, you win the game. You start out 1-0, but that's last year. Now you figure out you're 0-2. Here's a point that's coming up more and more, and you had it yesterday. Wes in Clarksville. Does anyone get fired if Malik comes in and beats the Titans?
100% somebody does. I don't know who it is, but yes, somebody is getting fired. Maybe multiple people are getting fired.
A coach, somebody in the facility, a secretary, somebody, right?
It'd be unfortunate. It'd probably be the special teams coach. I don't know who that is, but it's probably gonna be a special teams coach. Just because, like that, I don't want to say it's the least important because it is very important in football.
Right.
But like, if you had to designate a coach to be fired, it'd probably be special teams.
If you are a Titans fan and you're rooting for Malik to do well, you need to check your colors at the door. You need to just go be a Packer fan at this point. Just go be a Packer fan. You do not want him to do well on Sunday, no matter how much you like him or how much you want him to succeed. You do not want him to do well. And I'm telling you, I'm going to the game Sunday with my brother. We go one game a year, right? Love my brother. But I told him, I said, when they go play Malik Willis, if they do a tribute video, I'm standing up and booing.
I'm telling you, it's happening. It is 100% happening.
He is here to beat you. Let's welcome this guy in who's going to beat us. Oh, by the way, here's a 2-minute tribute video.
But I agree to you, though. I agree with what you're saying about that, because if you look at Brian Callahan and Denard Wilson and Rand Carthon, they've all talked about building a new culture. If you want to build a new culture, you got to forget what you've done in the past and move on and actually have a winning mentality of not celebrating players that have been here for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, good point. You traded him because he had no future here, right? And look, if he goes to Green Bay and is wildly successful, good for him. If you're a Titans fan, you don't want him to be successful on Sunday. You just don't. So stop with the pleasantries. It's football, right? It's not the white Christmas gift, whatever. Everybody gives each other a gift, sits around and sings. This is not a party on Sunday. This is a football game. They're here to beat you and make you 0-3 so you can put the 24 season already 3 weeks in down the drain. Now what it's happening, it's not good. So stop that. Now, look, it's hot in here. Now I'm hot and I'm mad. I was going to have a good day today, and now I'm all that. All right.
You want some ice cold water?
I don't. Water's the worst.
Oh.
I mean, I have to drink it now because I don't drink sodas anymore, but I'm not a water guy.
You don't like the sparkling water? A little bubbly water?
Somebody said add salt to water, and it makes it better. I've tried that, and it's worse.
Yeah.
Because of electrolytes?
Yeah, when I was in high school, we used to do Gatorade with salt in it, and I'm just like, I'll pass.
Jordan Nashville, worst job I've had is unpacking tractor trailer trucks at FedEx full of large furniture, chemical barrels, and construction equipment, tires during the dog days of summer while also in a mask. Jordan, there's no way. But I hope they paid you well for that. Chemical barrels, construction equipment. What are the chances I drop a chemical barrel? About 98%. Josh says, if the Titans lose Sunday, Levis is going to have to sit, or if the Panthers or Steelers calls up, want to trade you for quarterback, take it. It's time for a change. Voice to text is the best. Trade. Panthers aren't calling up you and getting Levis. They know the Steelers. I think they like Justin Fields. I don't know, something about Justin Fields. They're 2-0. I know the defense is killing it up there, but I like Justin Fields. Gene Simmons is doing a show at Beaver Dam in Kentucky as the Gene Simmons band in the next few months. Do you want to see the Gene? I don't want to see the Gene Simmons band.
I'll pass.
Quick Gene Simmons story for you. He used to be a big IndyCar guy, and I was in the bathroom at the National Super Speedway in the Media Center, and we have witnesses that he went in the bathroom, was using the urinal next to me, and I did not a double take, not a triple take. I looked 4 times. And he's a tall dude. And I'm like, this is Gene Simmons. And I didn't say anything, and I looked up. I mean, I didn't look down. I looked up. And so I waited for him to come out of the bathroom, and I was like, you're Gene Simmons. Couldn't have been any nicer. Super guy. Took pictures, cracked jokes, super guy. Gene Simmons. I don't want to see the Gene Simmons band.
Did you ask him if he washed his hands?
No, I was hoping he did. I didn't shake his hand. I did the fist bump. Perfect. I did the fist bump. That was 15 years ago. We did the fist bump. But I don't want to see the Gene Simmons band. I don't want to see some guy sing Kiss songs I want to see Kiss sing Kiss songs. I don't want to see Gene Simmons, who probably is going to stand there with his bass and stick his tongue out and spit fire, whatever, what he's famous for. Harold Metal Henry, can we trade Will Levis for Bryce Young? There is no way in Hades I want Bryce Young in Nashville, Tennessee.
Would you want to experiment? Just like a straight up trade.
No. You will trade Will Levis for Bryce Young?
No, I'm not saying I will. I'm just asking you the question. Would you not want to just,
No.
experiment that?
No, I did a lot of experiments in the 60s, and I'm not doing that.
In science class.
Yeah, in science class. I don't want Milton Henry better than that. But are you? But I don't want Bryce. Nobody wants Bryce Young here. He's terrible. He had the one good season at Bama because, hell, he had 5 stars around. We could look good with 5 stars around us. We gave you the Bama quarterback stat earlier. It's not happening right there. A few more before we get to the break. Again, who's to blame for the Titans this last year and a half? Because there's a lot of blame to go around. Amy from Arkansas. In college, I worked at Toots, and we had hula hoop on the tables. Loved the people there, but the drunk students at night were a problem. Yeah, and they were too cheap to tip. After that, it was Toys R Us. It was quite literally hell until I got to restock overnight. So there you go, Gover. You and Amy need to talk about your Toys R Us experiences. Dr. Crane, do you tip?
Absolutely, 20%.
Okay, no matter what?
Yeah. Like, I'll go to Sonic if it's,
I'm with you.
if I go get tater tots and a drink and it's like $4, I'll give them a $2-3.
If you're providing me a service, I will tip you. Yeah.
Sometimes I like to be nice. Have you ever done this before, Joe, where you're just like, my bill is like $20 and you just drop another 20 for a tip?
Here and there.
Just make somebody happy.
Where the hell are you working to make this money?
No, I don't. I just like, if I have an extra 20 in the jar, just
right. Okay.
Because you know what? You always give to other people and eventually it'll come back to you in some form or fashion.
There is a burrito place in Donaldson, and you get an order to go, and they spin the thing around. The girl one time said, there's a tipping option at the bottom. And I said, okay, I'm not tipping. And she said, why not? I go, you literally took my order and spun the register around. I could do that. That's not a service. Don't get me started. See, you get me started on these things.
Well, I'm actually talking about an actual service, Joe.
I get you.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
So.
But I'm not tipping if you flip the screen around. That's the way it is.
True.
All right. Well, that's the first hour complete. We got more to come in the second hour, hopefully. Stick right here. This is the People's Show brought to you by Omni Nashville Hotel. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Okay, we'll go back into hour 2 of the Chase and Big Joe show here on 102.5, 106 The Game, brought to you by our good friends at Omni Nashville Hotel. We'll be at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes on Thursday. You're down there, come by, say hi. We love to see you. Always love to see you. Chase loves giving out hugs. I mean, that guy is the hug master. He loves hugging people. By the way, congratulations to Chase McCabe, who has been nominated for the best of the best in the Tennesseans poll for host, reporter, whatever. He's up there. So he's representing 102.5 The Game, and we're going to take Chase across the finish line.
Indeed, we are.
We are. He's up against Bob Mueller, Jill Jelnick, our good friend Matt Murphy, who's down the dial. Great guy, but he's not going to win this one. And Bobby, what's his face? So, we're going to get Chase. And congratulations. Chase is in New York City. He got his cloud storage certificate on LinkedIn and went up there and got his paper certificate. So, the guy's learning all the time.
Yeah.
So he'll be back here tomorrow for those who are inquiring, which is none of you.
When does the float thing start, Joe? We talked about this. Like, is the car going to be ready for the float to put Chase around town in? Or
yeah, how
does that all take place?
I'm trying to make him the Grand Marshal of the Donaldson Hermitage Christmas Parade, which has had some illustrious people throughout the years. Seamus was there. Jeannie Seeley was there, who we love from the Grand Ole Opry, just a wonderful person. And now we want Chase. Chase should be I'm the Donaldson guy, right? I'm a Donaldson guy. My job in Donaldson is to keep all you East Nashville people away from us.
Are you the Duke of Donaldson?
I'm the Sentry.
Oh, the Sentry. Okay.
So I stand on the pedestrian bridge over there. When people in East Nashville try to come over and say, not today, I'm like, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. East Nashville, stay away from us in Donaldson.
Migrate elsewhere.
There's going to be a turf war. Donaldson and East Nashville. Stay away from Donaldson. People are like, oh, you're kidding. No, I'm not kidding. What were we talking about?
I was asking about the float, the car, the float that is attached to it. It's going to have Chase McCabe all over it.
Oh, yeah.
So I just didn't know when that was going to take place. I thought we were going to do that soon.
We'll start probably 1st of October getting Chase in the parade. Okay. And then Grand Marshal. So there we go.
The sash.
Our question today is, we got 2 questions about who do you blame for the Titans. Good man, you guys are fantastic. 1,000. I need to read. I need to do a segment just to read these. Our question today is, who do you blame for the Titans? Just badness over the year and a half, because you compare it to the Panthers over the same time. This was Robbie was talking about it, and Jared was talking about it yesterday. Stillman 2-6. And the Titans are worse than the Panthers. So somebody's got to get blamed for this. Is it Amy? Is it Rand? Is it Vrabel? Is it John Robinson? Is it what's this guy's name? Chad something Brinker?
Chad Brinker.
What's his title? They parade out so many people. I don't know who's over there. He's part of the anyway. Is he to blame? I don't know. You blame the scouting department? So another question is, worst job you ever had, and you look back, you laugh on it. Dr. Crane used to kill koi fish. I was a car salesman at Jim Reed. I was the worst car salesman ever. In fact, true story, I had a hangover so bad. I'm 22 years old that I slept in the back of an Isuzu rodeo. I told the other salesman, I said, I got to go sleep. And I went in the back of an Isuzu rodeo and slept. And this guy was great. He was so funny. He showed the car with me sleeping in the back. He had a family come around. He's like, oh, what's going on here? And he was like, I'm just as shocked as you are. And I was like, you son of a. But that's what you get when you are the worst salesperson.
Did he include you with the price?
For $10 you can have him. Nobody bought it. So, which was great. That's just a big lot now there on West End. And I was an awful, awful car salesman. I did 1 month. I was salesman of the month. I was walking through because I wasn't feeling it, another hangover. And I was going to the vending machine, and a guy walked in and was looking for a fleet deal. He's like, hey, I need fleet. I'm like, I can help you out. So I ended up selling him like 22 trucks, small trucks for his fleet. And I became the salesman of the month just because I was walking to the vending machine to get a Coke so I wouldn't throw up. And he walks in and hey man, I tell you, I'd rather be lucky than good.
What a Coca-Cola can do for somebody's life.
That's right. By
the way, Chad Brinker is president of football operations. Just meant to tell you that.
What is that job?
Just oversees everything, for what it sounds like.
4047. Hey man, you ever guys? Oh, Mike in Kentucky Lake. You ever want to go fishing? Call me. Love listening to you guys when I can. Mike on Kentucky. How far is Kentucky Lake from here? Do we know? 2 hours? if you will feed us, we'll all come up there, Mike, on Kentucky Lake. God bless you, brother. We appreciate it. 7655, in response to the guy earlier about picking tomatoes, says, I think it's 40 cents a tomato. Now, I'm doing that job. You bet 40 cents a tomato?
That sounds about right.
I'm picking 1 million tomatoes. So that's what, 500,000 you walk away with? So I'm doing that.
And he hated that job?
He hated the job.
How do you hate that job?
0989, roofing and building pole barns. Both are pretty dangerous at times. What's a pole barn? Is that building a barn, putting a pole inside a barn? Is that what that is? 0989?
Give me a second on that one, Joe.
That's difficult there. 5353, cleaning up the butcher shop in a grocery store at night. 5353, God bless you on that.
Yeah, pole barns are kind of the things you see that are already pre-made on the Lowe's or Home Depot, where you can buy them for like $5-6 grand and you just make them in your backyard. It's like a set.
What do you do with them? You put a barn around them?
It's kind of like a shack almost, where you can put your car in there. It's
okay.
Something like a portable, not a portable carport, but like a metal carport in some regard.
Again, I would be the worst. If they put me on Little House on the Prairie, I would die in the first 5 minutes because I can't do any of that stuff. I'd be gone. By the way, Little House on the Prairie, worst show of all time. If you watch that show, it's terrible. It's nothing but problems. All right. Ben says testing sewer for bacteria is the worst job, but it's also required, and someone has to do it. Testing sewer for bacteria. That's awful. All right. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go to the phone line. Let's bring in Mike at Kentucky Lake. Mike, what's happening?
Hey, not much. You guys listen. I really do enjoy listening to you guys. But the tomato picking story, I picked tomatoes in 1969, 12 hours a day, 40 cents an hour. It kept gas in my 1960 Volkswagen Beetle, get me back and forth to school and back and forth to baseball practice. So, I was sitting pretty good.
But you look back now, what's the main thing you learned from that job, Mike?
That I did not want to be a farmer.
What did you end up doing?
I retired twice. I retired from the Lexington Police Department many, many years ago. Then I trained officers at the Academy in Richmond and taught part-time at EKU. And now I live on Kentucky Lake and enjoy my time fishing.
Good. How far is Kentucky Lake from Nashville?
I come to Nashville quite a bit because I got a doctor down there, I see. But it's about between an hour and a half and 2 hours, depending on traffic and so on. You know how Nashville is.
Yeah, so about 4 hours. By the way, you have another doctor now, Dr. Crane. So anytime, Mike, you need advice on life, Dr. Crane's your guy.
Oh, yeah, I've heard some of his advice. I'm not sure I'm going to go that route.
Appreciate you listening, Mike. I at least try. Yeah, it's all you can do is try in this world.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you, brother. We'll take you up on that fishing one day. We'll come up to Kentucky Lake.
Well, I'm serious. It's open anytime.
All right. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. And thank you for listening, Mike.
Yes, sir. You guys do a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you. I tell people we got one listener out there, and that was it.
Well, I guess that's not my referral I needed.
But hold on. Jeff seems to me it starts at the top. Amy Strunk must take responsibility for much of the team's long-term woes. Will Levis was her guy. GM and coaches and other top management are her and her family decisions. Poor choices over the years have been the Titans as basement dwellers. A lot of truth to that, Jeff. Thank you for that as well. 4415. Will Levis is all body and no brain, no game or pocket awareness. No natural quarterback instinct. He's a robot. 4415. Thank you for that. Dr. Crane, can you do the robot, the dance? Can you do that?
Like Mr. Roboto?
No, robot, where it's like,
no, I can't.
Okay.
I can't. I wish I could. I wish I had a dancing bone in my body. I kind of do, but not really.
I bet you Mr. 80s can.
You got hair,
Our intern is straight out of 1982. Handsome young man, great hair, but looks like he's in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Owns a Letterman jacket.
Owns a Letterman jacket. I, on the other side, am overweight and have no hair, so I'm jealous. 8566 says, we hired the guy that was involved in the worst special teams play of all time, Colts failed fake punt versus Pats. Is he really? I didn't know that. This guy's supposed to be better than Ackerman. Are we just doomed to have terrible special teams forever? Yeah, that fake punt, whatever the Colts did versus the Patriots, awful. I did not know that. 8566. Thank you. You're the text for the day for the information. Dylan, I was in the Navy. The most wonderful worst job of all, packed into one. I was a medic. Also worked in the hospital, and dealing with patients is the worst. Dylan, thank you for your service, and thank you for doing that. God bless you. Western Hermitage, Big Joe, I'm curious on y'all's thoughts. Do you think Amy regrets not trying to make Matt LaFleur the coach or keeping him around and just running it with Vrabel? I would think her seeing him the success in Green Bay would probably infuriate her. Just a thought. Here's the thing about Matt LaFleur. When he left after 2018, he went to Green Bay to coach. Who was the quarterback in Green Bay in 2019?
Aaron Rodgers, I believe.
Was rolling. And so 2019, even COVID year of 2021, Green Bay had some decent teams. And so Matt LaFleur, I mean, look, I'm not blaming him that he had Aaron Rodgers. It was just a great situation for him to do that. I think Art Smith is a better coach than LaFleur anyway. That's just me. Don't yell at me. Partly because we had Art Smith on the show and we know him. So that's why we got him on the show. But no, Wes, after LaFleur left at 18, who are you pointing at? I get it. I know what you're talking about. To do that. So we'll do that. Keep him coming there. Who's to blame for the Titans over the last year and a half? I love the blame being spread around. It's great. And also, you guys are great. The worst job you ever had, now that you look back and you laugh about it, these responses are great. We'll read those. Also, hold me to this, Dr. Cram. We come back, got to talk about Monday Night Football. I got to talk about the 2-minute offense, which blows my mind for a certain reason. We'll tell you more about that. This is the People Show, the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show as we honor REO, who is now RIP. Come January 25, they are hanging it up. You can't get along. Oh, my goodness. Welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show, brought to you by Omni Nashville Hotel. Here at 102.5, 106 through the game. All right, last night, Monday Night Football. The NFL has turned into the NBA in a lot of ways because the NBA, you just watch the last 2 minutes and you get everything you need to know. That's, the joke forever. Just watch the last 2 minutes. NFL's getting like this. Like, you watch the last 2 to 4 minutes, and it's the best part of the game. Last night, the Eagles were over the Falcons. It was a really bad game, but a fun game because a lot of mistakes, a lot of big plays, back and forth. So bad play-wise, but just fun because it was football and it was competitive, right? It was competitive. So the Falcons are down 22-16. They go down and, they get the ball. I forget the drive. They haven't moved the ball in the second half, hardly any. And they put a 2-minute drive in, and Kirk Cousins just marches them down the field, and they win the game 23-22. Here's Kirk Cousins after the game.
A field goal wasn't going to do it. Just tell me, what did you say to your guys in the huddle when you took the field for that game-winning drive?
Well, they had to protect, which they did. Guys had to get open, which they did. Really trusted Drake in that moment. He ran an unbelievable route for the touchdown. Team effort. Great calls by Zach as well.
Take us through that play, the touchdown pass to Drake.
It's a play we've repped a lot in camp, and he had just done such a great job on it, and I just had a lot of confidence in him to separate, and he created so much separation. I was able to just lay it out to the front pylon, but awesome job by Drake.
So much has been said about how you looked last week and about your performance. Just tell me what felt better, what felt more comfortable tonight.
Lisa, I still am not sharp enough. I didn't feel like I was sharp enough today, accurate enough. I got to be better. But that last drive hopefully can give us a boost going into next week. We can build on that. There's a lot of new, and it takes time. I was pleased with the way we finished tonight, but there's still so much to be better with.
You talked about just how long the journey back was, just how difficult the rehab was. With that in mind, just how good does getting this one built tonight?
Lisa, it was big. It was a big drive, big play. It's a tough place to come win. This is a good football team. It was, good character building deal for us to have this experience together, and now we got to go build on it. And we got the Chiefs next week. It doesn't stop. That's the NFL. By the way, Matt, what about?
Thank you, Kurt.
Absolutely,
Congratulations.
Lisa. Yeah, thank you.
A lot of hugs going on there. All right, so Cousins does this drive. I mean, the whole game, they're very pedestrian. It's like there's no motivation. And like, oh, wait, we got a chance to win the game. Let's go out and win the game. Where is that? And this is a problem I got at the National Football League. Where is that the entire game? Where's the urgency? I don't see any urgency anymore. But the Falcons ran that 2-minute drill to perfection. And I blame the Eagles for letting that game get out of their hands and losing that game last night. But I just want to know, where is the urgency? Why didn't you run that offense throughout the game instead of, taking time, walking the line of scrimmage? And Dr. Craig, you're talking about Peyton was talking about how they ran that to perfection, and where's that been the whole time?
Yeah, and I think Matt Ryan was the guy that asked it, and here's the clip.
I don't know about you guys, but when you move to a new offense, didn't you sometimes feel like 2 minute was like the easiest spot to be in?
Yes. Staple plays.
You were not thinking.
First day install plays, the plays that you know the most. That's what you're running. The receivers know. Less thinking, hey, I know you think I'm crazy. Let's take a little time, Atlanta. Let's don't score right away. Let's take some time here. Philly better start calling timeouts here.
There you go. Get up.
That's exactly right. Great point. Who was it? Was that Peyton who said not
That was
thinking?
Peyton, yep.
Yeah. You just go out and play instinctual football and not think about it. Know what I've got? I've got to get open. Kirk Cousins, I got to deliver the ball. We're going to live. It's the urgency around that. I know, when I play, we practice 2 minute, very little, but you did. It's like, because you would know 2 minutes, you're going to run these 5 or 6 plays, get open, be cognizant of where you are, get out of bounds. Know where the first down marker is. That's very instinctual football. That's what I like about listening to the Manning cast. I'm not a big Peyton Manning fan, but I like that because it tells you more than just like, hey, run a little digger out and come back, or you run a post, or it's telling you why you're running those routes and what you're doing to get there. And the Falcons win last night.
There's a meaning behind the comment and not just saying it. Exactly. And like Peyton Manning went on to say later in that broadcast was like, he mentioned Tom Brady and how they went up against each other multiple times throughout his career. And so there was a time where he went up against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and how, there was 10 seconds left on the play clock. And he made sure to milk that clock, because if they score too early, Tom Brady probably goes down the other way and scores it himself.
Yeah, right.
So like that was something that he pointed out as well. And I think that's vital in today's day and age in football, especially in primetime games, in my opinion. Whenever you watch a primetime game, it's field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal, maybe a touchdown, field goal, field goal. That's what you're going to get. It's a chess game when it comes to primetime games, unfortunately. But you go on the weekends, on Sundays, and watch a lot of football all over television.
Yeah.
It's different. You're going to see a lot of touchdowns, a lot of just different style of play. And that's why I think in primetime games, when the lights are magnified on your team, you're going to be a little bit more apprehensive to show, less from your playbook.
Oh, absolutely. And you look, that's your final drive, that it's over with. You got this point. And so it just ticks up a notch. And I like that. That was really fun, the last few minutes of that football game, doing that. By the way, the leading tackler for Philadelphia last night, former MTSU free agent, basically walked on the National Football League, Reed Blankenship, had 10 tackles for the Philly defense last night. Philadelphia should have never lost that game. Again, they let Atlanta keep hanging around. And now the Falcons play the Chiefs on Sunday down in hot Atlanta. You going to that game?
No, not at all. I have a good seat, and it's called my couch.
To do that. All right, we'll take another break. We'll come back. We'll continue to read these text messages. Again, you guys are fantastic. Every time we do these, it's great. And our question is, who's to blame for the Titans? Because we play the blame game here at 0-2. And the thing being said, with the same period of time, Titans are worse than the Panthers. It just blows my mind about that. And also, a lot of great response on the worst job you ever had, that you look back now that you are glad you had that job. This is the People Show, brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel, the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
I've swallowed my pride for you, lived in life for you, but you still make me feel like a thief. You got me stealing your love away, 'cause you never give it. Peeling the years away, and we can't relive it.
Everybody.
Oh, I make you laugh, and you make me cry. I believe it's time for me to fly.
All right, welcome back into the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106 for the game. We're playing REO today as they announced of January 1st, 2025, they're done because they can't get along. I'm sure there's more to that, but I don't really care. So REO, RIP. This hot off the presses, my friends. If you're a Tennessee Vols football fan, listen to this from Brett McMurphy. Tennessee will add a 10% talent fee on all football tickets starting next season. This fee will go to the players, helping fund the proposed revenue share with the players. Tennessee estimates per seat price increase averaging 4.5% for the entire stadium. I'm telling you, Dr. Crane, you hit on it. Our couches are looking better and better every Saturday. Price us out, and we ain't going. I know some will go to Tennessee. I get all that, but I'm telling you. And then John Adams is a great columnist, has this article, just came out in the Knoxville News Sentinel. It says basically, he's paraphrasing about Danny White today. It says, and John says this in his article, it says, a message, I'm paraphrasing, Tennessee fans, you want a championship team? Then you're going to pay for it. It says, I find that refreshing. Once fans get past the typical outrage that comes with the price hike, some of them might like it as well, too. So there you go. Tennessee fans paying more. White didn't just inform fans of the 14.5 season ticket price increase for 2025. He let them know where most of the money be going. The extra revenue won't fund a more exotic cafeteria menu for student athletes. It won't enable the athletic department to hire more tutors. It won't provide additional space for Tennessee administrators. This isn't about building, John says. It's about winning. UT said 10%, about $7.5 million of the ticket price increase will go toward a talent fee. Translation, fans can now take an active role in the player buying business. In a way, they're shareholders who in the best case scenario will be rewarded in wins rather than dividends. Okay, a few things. I don't mind a player getting paid, all right? That's the way it is now. Nothing to do to stop it. That train's going down the tracks. What I hope is that they're able to realize why they are there, all right? You're there, obviously, get your education, get a degree, which is still powerful in a lot of ways. I don't care what anybody says. And to win games. I just be getting paid. It's really hard to be tough when you're sleeping on silk sheets. It really is. And I hate to think that way, but they're all doing it. It's not going to stop. I mean, what happens if, God forbid, Bill Gates gets involved with the school? Then you're paying people that it's on. I am telling you right now, Arch Manning next year when he's starting quarterback is going to make $20 million in the NIL. I mean, there's no stopping it. So why can't I be some guy from Troy University and pay Arch Manning $30 million just to piss off Texas fans and bring Arch Manning to Troy University or wherever? Who's to say that's not going to happen? Now, Joe, that's stupid. No, it's not. It's already happening. If I'm a booster at another school and your guy's kicking my ass, I'm going to go take him from you. It's no different than what Bill Belichick did with Wes Welker. Wes Welker was killing the Patriots every time they played. What does Bill Belichick do? Goes and signs Wes Welker. That's what happens.
So according to On3 Sports, Joe, ranked fourth out of this whole entire list is Arch Manning, sitting at $3.1 million for his NIL, name, image, and likeness.
And he's not even starting.
No. He might be this week, though, yeah.
Tell Mr. 80s to pipe it down back there. Yeah, I mean, he's starting this week. We know that because Quinn Ewers is out. But next year, he's going to make a fortune next year. Good for him. I'm about capitalism, baby. You make as much money as you want. That's fine. More success for you. That is fantastic. I don't care I want you all to be successful. But my goodness, man, this is something else. That's a lot of money. And I just hope at some point they kick it in with a little pride and know why you're there. We don't know. We don't know. And these college coaches, it's frustrating. No, Middle's got 59 new players. MTSU does. North Texas has 74. 74. And it's going to keep going on that way. It's going to be each year. The team's going to lose more and more players. It's going to happen.
Back to Peyton Manning, though, real quick. He mentioned something about Arch Manning and his decision to stay at Texas. And I thought it was kind of telling because I believe Arch decided to stay because he wanted to basically be coached by Steve Sarkisian, the head coach at Texas. And Peyton Manning was like, that's the way you need to do it. You need to stay in a system and learn the system because it's only going to help you going forward.
I see more and more guys staying in college now.
Yeah.
I do. Peyton, could have left in 96. Bill Parcells said he would take him at the first pick of the draft in 96. Peyton stayed another year in Knoxville and learned more, but matured more, won an SEC championship. And that's what it is. And here's a great point that John Adams brings in his article. How much Tennessee fans are you willing to pay to beat Alabama each year or Florida or Georgia? How much would you pay to beat everybody? And how much would you pay to have a quarterback as talented as Nico? That is where it's headed now. And it frustrates a lot of people in a small way. It frustrates me as well because we're not talking anything on the field. It's talking all the stuff off the field, NIL, and it comes down to what's happening. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's something that leaves me just like, oh, where do we go next with all this? What's going to happen next? But I do think guys are going to – if Arch Manning stays next year, okay, say he makes $10 million in 2025. It makes another, say, $12 million in 26. That's $22 million he's made. That's $25 million he's made in college. What's his first 4 to 5 years in the NFL? He makes more in college than he does in the NFL.
You're right.
I told you last time I was wrong. Mondale 84. Don't forget that.
I won't. I'll actually get it stamped somewhere on an envelope or something.
All right, so there you go. We like to bring you the latest news. Again, talking the worst job, our questions, worst job you ever had that you look back and laugh on. Lenny says worst job was perforating cardboard factories. Up to be temporary. It's supposed to be temporary. If you use gloves, you couldn't keep up. My hands were like hamburger afterwards. Cuts all over my hands. My other job called the next day, and I quit the cardboard factory. I knew the owner from that day forward. He called me 01. He worked one day. He called him 01 day. Again, 615-737-1025. Worst job you ever had, but you look back and laugh on it now. When I was 15, I rented my parents' phone bill, constantly texting my girlfriend because I thought we had unlimited texting. Come to find out my mom and dad had limited texting. My dad found an ad in the paper for Southern Sunday paper. I got 38 cents a paper for each one I sold. I somehow convinced my buddy to sell with me. That was the longest and hottest South Georgia summer ever. 4:30 a.m. pickup of a newspaper bundles. My dad would just pick up a random street corner and drop us off and would come back till 6. Here's what I do with that job. I would go hang out with your buddies and just dump the papers in a garbage bin somewhere. Because let me tell you what, I had a summer job delivering phone books, and we delivered about 5 of them. Me and my friend, I know you're listening, Lee, and we delivered about 5 of them. I said, what are we doing? There's no accountability here. Just throw the phone books away. Throw the phone books away. Wouldn't you know it? Very next day, sweet elderly lady on the street we were supposed to deliver phone books calls the company and says, I never got my phone book. And I look on the list and say, Joe, did you deliver phone books? I was like, yeah, up and down. I don't know where a phone book is. Well, you did take her a phone book. I never took her a phone book. I stayed that job like 3 days and left. Terrible.
And
Terrible.
you're the reason why I had a booster seat as a kid.
Yeah.
Phone books were my booster seat.
Were they?
Yeah.
It's not my fault you're 5'1".
No, I'm just saying my parents would grab the phone books out of the trash and, just I'd sit on them.
All right. Chuck says, the good thing about this, a kid who didn't get noticed in high school and went nowhere at university can get noticed by a bigger program and get rewarded for their success by moving on to a bigger program. You're right, Chuck. You're exactly right, because there are guys, I'm telling you, guys at FCS schools, Middle's one of them, not an FCS, but a group of 5, they're going to get noticed and they're going to pluck them away. That's what's happening, and that's where we're going now. So with all that, one more real quick. Adam in Portland. Adam, why aren't you calling instead of texting? Worked at a jail for 8 years. It's as miserable as it sounds. The simple things you'll do for health insurance. Amen on that, brother. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. It is celebrity birthdays, and what day is it? Chase McCabe will be back tomorrow. We'll continue our quest to get him voted as the best of the best of the Tennesseans poll for best host in Nashville. So let us, we'll have that for you coming up next. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by Omni National Hotel, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Such a good song. We're celebrating the career of REO Speedwagon because they're disbanding in January and being done because they can't get along or some cockamamie story that they'll throw out there. Whatever, they're gone. All right, well, back to this welcome in to 102.5, 106 to the game. The Chase and Big Joe show. Chase back tomorrow. Brought to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Real quick, Amy's weighing in on her worst job that we ever had. Alex says, Toys R Us again, interviewed for manager position, and my first day told me I'd be cleaning bathrooms and fixing carts. I left on the spot. Oh, man, 4242, worked at the chicken processing plant, cleaning the factory, and I left because the company started bringing in middle school-age kids from boarding countries. Well, I would quit, too, on that as well. All right, thanks for all the sponsors today, 615-737-1025. All right, now it's time for celebrity birthdays, and what day is it?
All right, first on the list here, gentlemen, we have it's a lot of them. We also have Constitution Day and also Citizenship Day. That's today.
Okay.
We have Get Ready Day, so make sure you're ready for
Real
things.
quick, we have our intern, Mr. 80s, in here too. Can you
Yes.
speak in the mic?
What's going on?
Put the mic up. There you go. That's all right there.
Here we go. Is
There
that
you
better?
go.
I mean, he looks like he's from 1982. Are you from 1982? I know you're born in 2002.
I don't know. My parents used to always tell me I was an old soul. So maybe.
What? Tell everybody what your name is.
My name's Kyler Parker.
Kyler. And Kyler, where's the best internship in Nashville?
102.5 game.
All right, make sure you mark that down. All right,
You got that.
Dr. Crane, what's your name again?
Kyler Parker.
Kyler.
Okay. 80s.
I just call him Mr. 80s.
Oh,
All right.
next on the list, this is a good food day, by the way. Apple Dumpling Day.
Oh,
National Apple Dumplings.
love the movie.
National IT Professionals Day is next. So
Chase.
shout out to that. National Professional House Cleaners Day. There we go. National Table Shuffleboard Day. You ever played shuffleboard?
Yeah.
Love it.
Big time down in Florida
Really?
for all the old people.
Get some sawdust and just glide it along the table.
Yep.
Let's see. National Voter Registration Day. World Patient Safety Day. Time is Up Day. Let's see. What else we got here? Take a loved one to the doctor day.
Oh, that's a
There you
good
go.
one. I think we're
And-
done.
Last one, though. Last one, Joe. Sorry.
Sorry.
National Monte Cristo Day. It's a
Oh.
really good sandwich.
What is on that sandwich?
I believe it's egg wash and you basically deep fry it, but it's ham and cheese. It's delicious.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Where does the Monte Cristo come in? Maybe May. I don't know.
I don't know.
I got a joke there. I'm glad I shut my mouth. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Mr. 80s will be taking on Dr. Crane. Now, Dr. Crane, what year were you born?
98.
Jeez.
Yep.
And Mr. 80s?
2002.
Bless America.
All right, first birthday today. Dr. 80s, you go first. Comedian Rita Rudner. Ever heard of her?
Never. I'm gonna
How old is Rita Rudner?
I'm gonna say 57.
83.
71. All right, now you got to get this one because she lives here in town, singer BB Winans. How old is singer BB Winans?
65.
72.
62. Mr. 80's not bad. Friday Night Lights. Kyle Chandler, the coach.
This is my favorite show of all time.
You better get this.
Yeah, I know. 51.
60.
59. Dr. Crane's up 1-0. Rapper Doug E. Fresh. You know the song 6 Minutes, 6 Minutes, 6 Minutes, Doug E. Fresh, you're on. You heard that song?
I have not.
What I?
How old is he?
46.
50.
58. Oh, that's great. Rapper Vin Rock of Naughty by Nature. How old is Vin Rock?
54.
58.
54 exactly. Oh, Mr. 80s is up 2-1. A guy we've had on the show, comedian, actor Bobby Lee from Mad TV and Harold and Kumar. Bobby Lee.
58.
42.
53. It's not bad. So Mr. 80s is up 2-1. I got another list here. We'll go down the list. All right. NBA legendary coach Phil Jackson, who coached Michael Jordan and Kobe. How old's Phil Jackson?
77.
74.
79. Mr. 80's up 3-1. Now, is there going to be a scroll on ESPN for upset alert? Because the young man here, first time on the mic.
It's alert. It's on.
Mr. 80's rolling. All right, Mr. 80's. John Franco. Ever heard of him?
I have not.
Relief pitcher for the New York Mets. Really good back in the day. How old's John Franco?
66.
63.
64. Dr. Crane, you're on the board. I mean, it's 3-2 now. All right, former Jacksonville quarterback Mark Brunell, who Derek Mason beat in the AFC Championship game in 1999. Mark Brunell.
50.
47.
54. Ah, so close. Former NBA player Rasheed Wallace, who Terry Bradshaw called Rasheed. What's the guy for the Chiefs receiver? Rasheed Rice, is that his name?
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw called him Rasheed Wallace. How old's Rasheed Wallace?
43.
49.
50. We're tied at 3. NASCAR driver Jimmy Johnson, not the coach, the driver.
53.
57.
49. We have 2 left, and both these 2 are champions. How old is Alex Ovechkin? You heard of him?
I have.
Okay. How old is Alex Ovechkin?
40.
41.
39. We are down. Oh, I'm nervous. We are down to our last celebrity birthday. Mr. 80s is up 4-3, who was born in this century, by the way. And Dr. Crane, who was born at the end of the last century, are battling out. Our final birthday, Mr. 80s is up 4-3. This is perfect. How old today, make sure I get this correct. How old, I wrote it down, make sure I wrote it down right, is, okay, Patrick Mahomes. Today is Patrick Mahomes' birthday. How old is the best quarterback in the National Football League?
29.
27.
Are you kidding me? Mr. 80s wins. Mahomes is 29 years old today. 29. He's already won 3 Super Bowls. Probably going to win a 4th one this year. Mr. 80s, thank you, man. We have a class today at MTSU.
No, this is the only thing I got today.
Do you drive the 82 Camaro?
I do not.
Do you hang out at the pizza parlor and play Space Invaders?
Secretly, but don't let my friends know.
Mr. 80s, you win. You know what you get for winning? You get to come back here on Thursday?
Yep.
All right, good. Good job, brother. Good job, Dr. Crane. Thanks for all listening. Thanks for the participation you guys give us every single day. We love you guys. As we close out every show, we always do this, and this because we know we care and we love you. To our guys out there, if you're struggling, you're having a bad day, you need to talk to somebody on your cell phone, you can dial 988. You can reach out to us. We're here. There are places you can go to talk. Just talk to somebody before you do anything. You know, God has you on this earth for a specific purpose, and your journey is a beautiful journey. Understand it's a beautiful journey. I know there's rough spots and some dark clouds we go through. We all go through them. But the good news is those dark clouds go away and there's sunshine on the other side. So if you need us, reach out to us. Know that you are loved, and if something happened to you, you'll be tremendously missed. Please, please know that. Willing D. Mace next. Jared Stillman coming away at 2 o'clock. Keep it right here where your sports lives here. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.